This is Scott Porter, and I am the Director of Channel Development with ECRM. I'm on their Pharmacy and Medical Markets team, and we are here in San Antonio, Texas, at our Specialty Pharmacy EPPS, where we had our Thought Interaction Pods, and I am here with Doug Samojedny, who was you are the Director of Operations, right, for
Pharmacy Advantage, yes.
Yeah, Specialty Pharmacy, and Mike Resvick,
Right.
who is the Manager of Operations for the Specialty Pharmacy of Fairview Health Services.
Correct.
Thank you both, gentlemen, for
Thank
being
you.
here and for hosting one of our Thought Interaction Pods.
Yep.
You guys had a really interesting topic. It's certainly on the minds of a lot of folks within the industry with IDNs and how they fit into the world of specialty pharmacy and the role that you guys play as you have, it seems like a clear advantage with access to the patient and so forth, and just wanted to get your thoughts on what type of discussion that you had at your Thought Interaction Pod.
Sure. Well, just to begin, we're glad to be here because at home in Minneapolis, there's about 8 inches of snow today, so weather is much better. And
Right,
I know Doug is a
we're
little
getting
different.
we're getting 6 to 11 in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So our timing was good.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. I think
Thank
it's, what,
you.
it's supposed to be
Perfect
70 degrees here today.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
good stuff.
So as far as you want to start this one off?
Okay. The interaction was fantastic. I actually loved the casual conversations that everybody had. After an intro, you had a feel for what they do and gave a brief overview of both what our health systems looked like, what the makeup was, the size, and not so much to a revenue point, but a patient load, as well. And then we ran into differences or parts of the conversations with them that were based off of how we get the data for prior authorization for a patient, all right? IDNs have one distinct advantage because we have access to the EMR. We're able to fill those out on behalf of the physician, on behalf of the clinical team in the clinics or at the hospital to submit for authorization to an insurance plan. So our turnaround times are much faster than the colleagues that we sat with yesterday. Where they have to go through a request process through the doctor's office. When we receive the order, we can start working the order up immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
And in Fairview, we use basically the same method too as far as access to the EMR, but we embed what we call a liaison, usually a technician, in the clinic. So our specialty clinics will have a liaison. That liaison then is really running all the interference for the PA, the prior authorization, any other communication back and forth. There's financial assistance, they line all that up too. So the physician and the nurses in the clinic are doing what they're supposed to do at the top of their license, and we're managing that whole pharmacy experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was where the gist of the conversations yesterday ended up at, you know what I mean? I did have the opportunity, conversations came on how you follow patients, where we actually use Drillmo's PTM, which is our clinical software, and then it follows them so that we're in advance, we're able to see prior auths that are gonna expire, the financial assistance, we can tie everything right into the patient's care.
Right.
What
Part of the patient journey, yeah.
What percentage of health systems these days have their own dedicated specialty pharmacy?
Well, there's getting to be more and more lately. It's started out slow, but I'd say there's well over 25 for sure that I think are strong, and there may be more than that actually, but I know of 18 for sure within a network that we're in. But it's growing, and I think too for the simple fact that you have the patients and there's accountable care networks now, and you have to take care of your patients, and that's how the pay models are being established. So we used an example, I think too, with the patient center, let's say an oral chemo patient. We just showed all the touch points within the hospital system, and our ability as a specialty pharmacy to actually access all that and even put records into that EMR so that the physician and then other caregivers can actually see what was going on with that patient. So that really is our advantage, is the fact that we have that.
Yeah, and from my experience with other health systems in the area with us, they might not be as developed as a Fairview or Pharmacy Advantage, but they may be just doing one disease state. Most of them are moving that way into it, because at the end all is the health system and the hospital is responsible for the patient's care. So any failure, any delays, anything like that puts the patient at risk, then back into the system and back in the hospital for unwarranted reasons. You know what I mean? So everybody's realizing the best way to keep a patient out of the hospital is to have seamless care from the transition from acute or from a clinic diagnosis right to the patient, and keeping everybody informed at the same time.
What does the manufacturer, the drug manufacturer, feel about the
Well, the
IDN?
manufacturers, well, if they can get data, which is very important to the manufacturer, and also time to fill. There's a lot of things that's more the health plan than it is the manufacturer, but the manufacturer wants to know that the drug was delivered timely, and then all the data in between.
All the data in between, adherence.
Is there any like conflict of interest issues at all, because you've got the prescriber in many cases, looking at the formulary and seeing and prescribing a specific medication, maybe as opposed to another one? Does that ever come up as an issue?
I think it probably comes up. It's not very common.
No, especially in the specialty world. When it goes to these products, technically, a lot of them, like an oral oncolytic, is not your normal formulary that you would see in an acute care setting. All right, so from a clinic side, they're really not running on an inpatient formulary scenario. They're actually on a non-formulary based.
It's more based on the health plan.
And it's based on the health plan or the PBM, the insurer.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Any significant hurdles related to health systems or IDNs getting into specialty pharmacy that others don't?
Well, number one is access.
Access to drugs. That would be number one on ours. Access to drugs and access to payers. I may have patients coming in that are coming in from a different payer, all right, but the payer then has a contract with someone out of state to service them. Well, the hospital's still the responsible party for the patient, all right? And with us not having access to the product or being locked out of the insurance where they are mandated to go to another plan, then we find that's where the patients will fall through the cracks. That's where the delays in therapy are.
Gotcha.
And that's where we utilize, again, like we said, we have that liaison in clinic working actually for the physician there too. And they head off a lot of these, where does the script have to go? And what they do is they make sure that the PA is completed and all the necessary other paperwork. When it does go out to a place that we're not able to fill the prescription, we have to send it to another SP. It's ready to go when it hits the SP, and there's not a lot of more communication back and forth with the physicians.
Similar with us, we do the work up at our site and then send it off to the proper specialty pharmacy that can fill it.
Where are your specialty pharmacies located? Are they in the hospital or off-site?
We're off-site. We're actually just across the railroad tracks, we like to say, in the University of Minnesota, and we're over on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and ours is about 15 miles north of the health system's main offices. Yep.
Sounds good.
Independent building, yes.
Anything else that you guys wanted to share?
No, I think, like Doug had said, it was nice to have the group of people come in because it was different questions from all over the place. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, exactly, which generated different conversations, different solutions.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, it is.
Well, glad
Thanks
to be
for
a
having
resource
us.
and really appreciate you guys being here and making this possible.
Well, appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Yes.
Thanks.